Sup? It's Greggatron. How's everybody doing? Shout out to all the good people for being here. Thanks for joining me. And I hope you like my shirt. Yeah! This shirt I got from Officer Tatum, theofficertatumstore.com. I'll put that in the description box. So this video is about gaining wealth. It's about all around wealth, how to obtain it, how to keep it, how to hold on to it. And this is going to be a good video. I was just on the phone with my buddy. We always talk about money and wealth and whatnot. So I was like, let me talk to you later, man, so I can get to this video, and I'll send you the video. So shout out to you. I've been hearing about this for a while now on how to gain generational wealth and all this stuff. So I got a list that's going to help some people, because that's what we need to do. We need to help people. So without further ado, so number one, go to work every day. I don't care if you're sick. Who's calling me? Spam. I don't care if you're sick. I don't care if your girlfriend just dumped you. I don't care if your dog died. I don't care. And when I say go to work every day, I just mean don't take off work until you have days to take off. Like if it's a part-time job, for example, and you got no benefits, so if you lose a day, you lose money, then don't lose that day. Alright? Unless you're like dying or something. Work hard, that goes with it. Have a good attitude about work when you're there. Do what you're told, don't complain. Have a good attitude. If you need to, get there early. I recommend people get there early regardless, just so you have a sense of what's going on. You have some briefing, and stay late if you need to. Work 2 jobs or more if you need to. I did all this when I was younger. That's just number 1. Number 2, work overtime while you're young. Alright, and that'll go into a future point. But work as much overtime as you can when you're young. I say when you're young because when you're old, you're not going to feel like working all that OT. That's just the nature of the beast. Okay, this ties into save your money. By save your money, I mean spend your money slower than you make it. Alright, another example, when you get your taxes back every February, March, April, whatever you do with it, whatever time you do it. When I get my taxes back, usually I do one of 2 things. I either, 1, pretend it doesn't exist, meaning I'll put it in my savings account and I stop looking at it, because if I hold on to it, I'll be tempted to spend it. Or 2, I'll throw it on the principal on my house. Okay? So either save it or put it on your principal. But don't spend your taxes. Alright, that was number 3. Number 4, never use a credit card, but if you do, only for emergencies only. I say that because a credit card is too easy to fall into that mindset of spending. It's too accessible. Whereas when you use a debit card, you can only spend the money if you have it. Right? So I refuse to have a credit card because I don't want to spend it. And as far as my checkings and my savings goes, I even keep 2 different banks. One bank for my checkings, one for my savings. And I don't even want to use the same card, because if I use the same card for my checkings and my savings, well, it's 2 different banks, so I couldn't use the same card, but if I have a card for my savings, I would be too eager to spend it. So if you have a savings account, I would recommend not even having a card for that. Unless if it's like for emergencies, you're stuck on the highway, then you can have a card. But if you have a credit card, please be extremely disciplined with your credit card. And there are people who establish their credit off of credit cards. I understand all that, which is fine. Just don't allow yourself to be overtaken with what's the word I'm looking for? The pressure of spending. So this kind of ties in with saving your money, right? Number 5, it's about to get deep. Don't buy a house until after your car is paid off. My car, it's a sedan, and it was between $13,000 and $15,000, I think. And I didn't buy my house until like my car was like this close to being paid off. Like I bought my house and then my car was paid off like the following month. So I say that because you don't want to be paying a mortgage and a car note at the same time, because that's almost like 2 mortgages. So just do one thing at a time, and that's okay. It worked for me, so it'll work for you, especially depending on how expensive your car is. But to further that point, don't buy expensive cars. Don't buy a brand new car. I've been saying that for a long time too. You can buy a used car, people. It's okay. It's okay. My car was 3 years old when I bought it. Now it's 15 years old. Yeah, my car is a 2010. And there's nothing wrong with that. So, this ties into this point. Pay your car off and don't buy a new car ever again until the wheels fall off. Basically live a simple life, and I'll go into that a little bit later. Okay, number 6, pay on the principal. So whether you have a mortgage or a car note, you're going to have interest, right? Interest will kill you. Interest will murder you. Therefore, you have to pay your principal. I learned this in economics. You got to pay that principal, which is basically an additional payment, all right? Your mortgage is due the first of the month. Same thing with your car note, whatever it is you're paying. But your second check, use that check towards your principal. That way you're slicing down that overall amount. So the interest won't affect you as much. The interest won't hurt you because you're paying on the principal. So some people say the interest essentially, some people say the principal cancels out the interest, which I don't think of it that way, because on the first of the month I still have to pay my interest. But I see what they're saying. Slash that dang amount down by your principal. Your principal is key. Seriously. I wish they would have taught me that in high school. Okay. Trade stocks. That's a big one. I was dating this girl years ago, and her dad had died. Her dad had his own business. Well, after he had passed, it was a family business, so her brothers took it over. Well, the mom still had buku money because her mom had tons of stocks from like way back when. And I remember one Christmas, she gave each of her kids, which is my girlfriend and her siblings, well, my ex-girlfriend, she gave them $1,000 a piece. All right. This is because she was trading stocks for a long, long time. So when you trade stocks smartly, you will acquire money. I call that making money in your sleep, right? And I know people who trade stocks. I don't do it quite yet, but I will. I know people who trade stocks, and they always have money behind them. It's like you're having a job when you're not really having a job. You're getting paid to think, to be smart. and they're good at it. Those who are, they got money. So find a way to trade stocks. All right. Number 8. Don't get married until you own a home. Ooh, that's good. Ooh, that's deep. I say that because you want to be established. As far as the man goes, you want to be established. And you don't want your wife to have to worry about which home are we buying and all this stuff. No, man, you should already have a home when you meet your wife. When you marry her especially. And then in the future, if you have a family, then you might need a bigger house or whatnot. But you shouldn't even consider marriage until you're already a home owner. That's just my advice. Because you want to bring her into your universe, right? And what woman wants to get with a man who doesn't own a home? Get it? You don't want to marry some dude, ladies, who has an apartment, right? Okay. Number 9. Don't have kids until you're married, which is the follow-up to number 8. That's pretty self-explanatory. But see how this is like a staircase? Don't have kids until you're married. That way the kids are already set up in such a way to where they're more likely to succeed. The car was paid off. The house is on its way to being paid off. You're married. Then you have kids. That way when the kids are born, you don't have to worry about the car anymore. It's paid off. You don't have to worry about the mortgage as much. The mortgage is still going to be there, I'm sure. But you don't have to worry about it as much because you were already paying on it before you got married and before you had kids. Therefore, the kids will have more money in their pocket because you can invest in your kids. You can put the money in the kids' bank account and the kids' college funds and the kids' whatever. All right. Number 10, focus on needs over wants. This goes with budgeting. All right. When I bought my house, my friend, she made me a spreadsheet of all my bills and how much each one would be. And then she knew how much I made per paycheck. So she said, okay, Greg, if you make this much a month and these are all your bills, that means you'll have this much left over after you pay all your bills. Because she's real good with computers. The job she works, she does spreadsheets for a living. So I was like, hey, thanks. That's nice of you to do that. We got to help each other, man. Let's see here. Only focus on your wants when you have leftover money. And even then, save that money. But if you just gotta have a want, like you want to go to a baseball game, don't go on that trip until after all your bills are paid. So basically, pretend that the wants don't even exist. But if they do exist, just focus on them after your needs are met first. Food, water, shelter. That's all you need. But if you want to go out and buy a boat, don't do that until after your needs are first met. It could be a trip to the Bahamas or something. I wouldn't even go on those trips unless if all my needs are met first. Okay? Number 11. This was interesting. Stay physically healthy. I say that because the more healthy you are, the better you'll perform at work. And the better you perform, the more opportunities will open. And employers want people who are healthy because they see you can get more done. You can be more productive. And when you're healthy physically, it helps your mindset be healthy too. And when your mindset is healthy, that means you can make more money. Get it? All right. Number 12, networking and connections. That's a really good one. This goes with talking to positive people only, talking to smart people, talking to people who are really good at their field. Don't just talk to some bozo, some knuckle dragger. No, you communicate with people who are beneficial to your life. And I'm not saying to go around and use people. I'm saying surround yourself with good people. Because when you surround yourself with good people, you will then be better. You make me better. You make me better, right? So if there's someone out there who's talking stupid stuff, who's detrimental to your life and your finances, someone who's going to use you up, don't be around those people. Networking is really important because these people can help you with all kind of stuff, not just money stuff. These people can help you with your car. These people can help you on your house. These people can help you on all kind of things. And life, in my opinion, is about building and establishing relationships. So if that relationship with that person is no good, you have no business talking to that person because that person's just going to drag you down. So stay around positive people only. And the more people you know, the more doors will open up. That's just how the world works. And you might know those people who can help you, but those people know other people who help them to help you. Or if they can't help you directly, they'll put you on to somebody else. It's like it works in a magical way. But yeah, don't be afraid to talk to people and reach out to people. Like, for example, my realtor who helped me with this house, he helped me find it. It's like we became friends ever since then because he worked with my mom a long time ago, right? Well, I invite this man to my birthday parties. So now when he comes to my birthday parties, he can network and reach out to my friends who don't own homes. So he can now help them get a house. Get it? All from that little friendship. Get it? But there's tons of examples like that. I'm going to try and keep this short. Lastly, number 13. I think this is a big one. It kind of ties into the ones I said earlier, but stay single for as long as possible. When you're single, you don't have a choice but to focus on yourself. Whereas when you're not single, you got to spend money on other people. But no, stay single, which goes with saving your money. And that's one reason why I was able to save money, because for the most part, this past decade, my whole time in my 20s, give or take, for the most part, I was single. Whereas, had I been in a relationship the entire time, I would have lost a lot of money. That's a fact. But stay single and stay focused on what you're doing. Because you can't lose. I was talking to a coworker about a year ago. I was telling him about my home gym. And he said, "Greg, that's because you're rich." I said, "I'm not rich, bro. I'm just single. There's a difference." But yeah. And now that I'm doing all these things while I'm single, that means if and when I do meet my wife, get it? I can bring her into my universe. Therefore, the car will be paid off. The house is actually close to being paid off. Then you get married, if I get married, and then have kids. Get it? So everything I just listed from point 1 to point 13, that's how I live my life. Okay? So I hope that was helpful. And if you have any questions, let me know. But hit me up in the comment sections for sure, because we need to get this message out. In my opinion, it's common sense, but not everybody was raised on this. And a lot of this I wasn't raised on per se. A lot of it I had to learn in my 20s and even now. But it definitely helps when your parents tell you some of this stuff, like one thing my parents told me, establish your credit, establish your credit. You know, my dad taught me about taxes a little bit. Things like this. But that'll be a different video as far as what's the matter with people. But yeah, it's been 20 minutes. I hope this was the most beneficial 20 minutes of your day. I hope you enjoyed my video, and I hope you like my shirt. And I'll see you in the next video.